So this video we'll be looking at in Tyflow how to use the pathfinding tool. So starting off, we just want to create a new layer for this and just title that one pathfinding by right clicking and creating the layer. If we go to the plus symbol now, we can just type in Tyflow. And Tyflow is the tool we'll be using to create this pathfinding simulator. So once you get the pathfinding tool for Tyflow, just click on any empty space and you'll have it there. Drag it a little bit away from the center grid so you have enough space there to be able to create your pedestrian simulator. Go into splines and select line and just drag out anything, and this will become the actual path that the pedestrians will be using. So this is just a test one. You can make multiple ones of these. This is just a singular one. Now we just can select all of those lines itself by clicking on the line of it at the end of the modify panel and select all there. And if you just scroll down, you'll find the outline just at the bottom, which is basically your offset inbuilt into the line. Just make that about 1 meter and make sure that's clicked to center, and then it'll go 500 either side of the center of the line to create the actual pathway, simulated very similar to a laneway. And now you just type in edit poly for that one there, and that will make it an actual mesh and a flat surface rather than two lines. So if we go into perspective view now, we can see that. If we go to create again, we can create a couple of boxes. Make sure these boxes actually overlap the actual mesh. So that first box there is going to be where the actual pedestrians are spawning from, and this taller red building is where the pedestrians are going to be traveling along the path to. So it's basically point A to point B, with the mesh being the path that they continue along. So now that's ready, we can jump into Tyflow. So go quickly down to your layers and the sub layer and open the editor. You just want to make this one a little bit smaller here, just so that it's easier for you to see both things that's going on, because you'll be selecting a lot of the different objects and meshes. So first, we want to put in the birth into the panel, and then we put in shape and make sure that display is definitely down the bottom, and then second final will be position object, and then the last one we want to put in is the actual pathfinding itself. There we go. So now we've got the whole script ready to go. We can go up to birth, at the moment set to 200, that's fine. We don't want to display as small dots, we want to have it as a geometry. So you can make these people, but we want to have them as just spheres for this task. So change that to 3D and go down to spheres and put it to low res, just so it doesn't cook up the computer. And then we want to go to position objects. Instead of the faces of the volume, we want the volume of the volume. So click the actual volume and pick it, and now you can see that it's all going to be coming from any part of that volume. So simulating different levels of a building or parts of the building where people will be coming from. On the pathfinding meshes, select the line, so the mesh itself is where they're going to be going along, and then the destination object is the red building. So if we press play now, we can see that they're traveling along that path all the way through to the end there. So it creates the pathfinding. If we go up, we can actually change that velocity to 5 meters, and that's 5 meters a second. So that means they'll be traveling a lot quicker along the path, because of some of them aren't actually completely reaching the destination after 100 frames. If we quicken it, that could potentially fix it, but by doing so, that actually means that they're cutting some corners. So we want to make sure that snap surface on all frames is turned on rather than snap surface on first frame, as they otherwise will cut corners to get to their final destination. So we click play now, we'll see that less are cutting corners, but still a few are, because of how fast they're going and the speed it is. So we can drop the velocity down again to 2.5, and the best thing we can do is probably actually changing the amount of frames. So if we go to the bottom of the screen, we should be able to change from 100 frames to about 300, and that will be able to finish their route. So in length, change from 100 to 300, just press OK. Now if we press play now, change it to top view, you'll be able to see that they're traveling along that path at a steady pace and they're not cutting any corners. and every single live pedestrian is going to make it through in that time frame.